the Dragon School, Oxford, which prepares boys for public school.
Ah, Donald! Congratulations, you won the top scholarship at Radley.
Top?
Top, yep.
Sewell?
Yes, Sewell or whatever it's called, yes. Jolly good, well done. Now, I think that probably calls for some kind of celebration. I'm not gonna let you have more than a glass of cider because got a hockey match tomorrow. Give you that much. Maybe a bit flat, isn't it?
That's all right.
Dad?
Hello, my love.
You know that I won this top scholarship.
Oh, darling.
I have, yeah.
The top scholarship
Yep.
to Radley.
Yep. Full fees.
When did you hear?
Just now.
Where are you?
In Inky Study.
Oh, many, many, many congratulations. I'm over the moon.
It costs nothing to send a boy to Radley, provided he wins the top academic award. But since only one boy gets that, the rest of the parents have to find £3,000 a year. Unless, that is, their son has a very special gift. Trawling for talent amongst the shoals of little boy musicians is Radley's new precentor, Anthony Dowland. At his disposal each year are a clutch of music scholarships worth £20,000 in school fees spread over 5 years. Up from prep schools and choir schools linked to Abbey and Cathedral, there comes after Christmas a band of small boys. For Radley is one of the stops on the inner circle of public schools that offer assisted passages to boys who can play music and sing songs.
Hi, Tom. How are you? All right? Had a good journey? Let's go in, shall we?
The head chorister of Westminster Abbey Choir School, Tom Johnson. His real test comes tomorrow. Tonight the boys are settling in. The newcomers are unawed by Radley. Many have seen it all before. They're old friends, seasoned veterans of the scholarship circuit who move from school to school in search of the best offer.
There's several others that I can't remember.
So you had people like McEwen?
Yeah, I know McEwen.
Watkins?
I think I know Watkins. I can't put a face to him at the moment, but close to known, yeah.
You're not taking an academic scholarship then? Science is my weakest subject though. We had maths and Latin this morning.
Next week, yeah, we got our CE trials tomorrow. I'm missing a Latin one.
It's pretty bad. One of the questions was, if a barmaid charges you £1.25 for 3 pints and 2 half pints, is this mathematically incorrect? If so, how?
Really difficult question.
There we are. Anybody else? Is it hot?
That's not. I mean, anyone with 11.
Oh, who's got the biscuits? Who's got the biscuits?
Fatty.
Hey,
The biscuits were here.
Have they gone in the other room?
I got a biscuit, aren't I? Big biscuit. Very privileged.
Yes.
How do you find the test?
You'll get some food when you get to the goldsmith.
What grade do you want at piano?
Hmm?
It says in the music thing that sometimes you get a chance to be taught by eminent musicians. How
That's
often
right.
does that happen?
Well, what happens is that when you come here, you will of course be taught by a member of the music staff, but when eventually he feels that he can't teach you anymore, and that it's in your interests to go to a professional outside the school, then we arrange that for you. You're the people, when you come, who are the leaders of the music. You're the chiefs, if you like. The others are the Indians. You probably find the Indians are very keen, but they're looking to the music scholars to give them a lead and set an example. Hands up those who are going to be wet bobs when you come. Row, row. Yes, all the tall ones.
I might do.
Yes. Who are going to be the dry bobs? Play hockey and cricket.
Yes.
Very good. You see all the musicians out there getting their knees muddy.
Can you do rowing one time, then cricket the next time?
No, you have to be a wet bob or a dry bob. And being a wet bob means doing rowing this term and next term.
Major scholarships are on offer, all index-linked to inflation. 2 are worth 1/3 fees. The top award is worth half fees.
We may stop you during your pieces. That's not because we don't like them, but only to save time, you see, especially if you're going to play the same bit again, perhaps.
In the music school at 9 o'clock the next morning, the cast assembled. Each player has been tested on sight reading and pitch, and now he'll demonstrate his versatility on as many instruments as he can handle.
Here he is.
The performance of each competitor will be judged by a panel of Radley's music staff.
Now, Jonathan Derritt, the dragon. About to tune up.
Jonathan Derritt's home is in Great Missenden. His school is the Dragon Oxford. His father lectures in Indian law at London University.
I do want him to have a boarding school education like his sister and his elder brothers. In his case, since he is very good at the violin, I do want him to have expert teaching and a concentrated teaching, and I want him to have a good musical education as well as the ordinary academic education. And this, I think, he can only obtain in a boarding school and almost certainly a public school. Unfortunately, unless he gets a scholarship, there's no possibility of Jonathan having that kind of education. Not every boarding school does take music seriously. Far too many of them regard music as an entertainment. And the musical scholars are just expected to entertain the other boys and the parents on occasions during the year. And it's very difficult to get the musical education running pari passu with the academic subjects. But I know that Radley can manage this.
Jonathan Derritt has played the violin beautifully, and the music staff and precentor are impressed. But to stand any chance of winning the top award necessary to top up what his father can afford, the boy has to play at least one more musical instrument. And even Jonathan Derritt's most ardent admirers would have to confess that his piano party piece was ponderous. As the auditions went on, the precentor and his music staff had somehow to evolve a system of evaluation which could cope with a piano in competition with a clarinet, in competition with a cello, in competition with a human voice, in competition with a trombone.
in beauty, from whom I take occasion to bless Almighty God.
Sleep well last night?
Yes, thanks.
Very good. Mrs. Hudson looked after you, did she? Yes. Great. Now, oboe first?
By the time the head chorister of Westminster Abbey arrived with his oboe, 3 boys had already been eliminated, 3 were still in with a chance, and 3 were sweating it out in the waiting room. Tom Johnson lives in Watford. Both his mother and his father are veterinary surgeons. Tom has a sister, but his older brother died of leukemia when Tom was a baby.
Nobody's going to pretend it's easy to find public school fees out of taxed income. And as veterinary surgeons, we have to buy our practices unless we set up our plates, so...
We'll find it somehow. I think all our lives we've bitten off more than we can comfortably chew and got it down as somehow.
The music started as his own idea. He wanted to sing in the church choir at our local parish church. He went to sing at the Diocesan Choirs Festival, where I think he was the youngest and smallest of the choristers, and therefore saw a great deal of St Albans Abbey choir, and came home and announced that he wanted to sing in a big church choir too. And much to our delight and astonishment, he tried Westminster Abbey voice trials and became a chorister.
We'd like to make it feel at home. Yes. Lay clerks joining in.
Hope the Abbey sang better than that. Jolly good. That's nice. Okay, bye-bye. Jolly good. Relax now. Well,
that's promising, little chap.
He's actually a very nice boy too.
I like him very much.
He was, of all the ones I was saying, he was delightful and helpful, and you know.
He's an all-rounder with that kind of style and everything.
I think Leo made a relevant point that he did try to play the sight reading sort of musically, didn't he?
Yes, I mean, it's stuff that he hadn't seen before. He tried to put something into
well,
it
I think
on the piano
this
as well.
is him, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is it, his music.
Yeah.
I would say.
I certainly think he's the best one so far. But is his voice actually going? Apart from just being a cold?
There's not much left there, the voice.
14 in August.
It's going to the right social.
Hello, David. Come in.
The final candidate.
This is David Roper Curzon, Salisbury Cathedral. Stick your things on the piano there, David. What do you want to do first? Flute? Play the flute first. Yeah.
In the lee of Salisbury Cathedral is the choir school where the Honourable David Roper Curzon is a chorister, and across the cathedral close is David's home. He is the eldest son of Lord Tenham, and he will ultimately be the 21st to succeed to that title.
Very important financially, with 7 children to be fed and educated. I realized that David had quite a good voice, and I used to train him up, and then he used to go to Gloucester Cathedral to have singing lessons. And finally we tried him here for the voice trials, and the organist told me that he had a better voice than some of the boys already in the choir.
Thank you very much.
But the Honourable David Roper Curzon had another musical card up his sleeve. For the last 6 weeks, he has been learning the organ. Before they went home, all the competitors were pitched into collective action to see how each would fare in the rough and tumble of Radley's Reserve Orchestra, which has rarely been noted for the delicacy of its playing.
We spent quite a lot of time on this. This is just to get you warmed up and relaxed, and to help the potential scholars get accustomed to the strange sounds, or not so strange sounds, we hope. Can we go from the first double bar, please? From the first double bar. 1, 2. follow the beat. Yes, I actually slowed down quite a lot. Not many people followed. Do watch.
Okay. It's open. Right.
By the end of the day, it was all over, and many of the boys moved on to the next round of auditions at other public schools.
Bye-bye.
The presenter and his staff had to act quickly now to cream off the best musicians before anyone else had time to make an offer.
I must say I've been very pleased with the overall standard of what we've heard.
Yes, I think it's been all right.
Well, do we agree that we do, alas, eliminate the following? Bracken, yes.
Yes.
Murtry,
Yeah.
yes. Cameron, yes. Brocklehurst.
Yes. I would also add Mackay to that list.
29244. Speaking.
This call is from one of the boys' parents.
What, to St Edward's? Right, OK. Thank you very much for letting me know, anyhow.
He's trying to barter with his son's success elsewhere.
OK, right. Thank you, bye-bye. That was Father Wilson to say the boy's been offered 70% of fees at St Edward's.
So we've already eliminated him anyway.
We were just talking about him, actually.
Were you?
Saying that
What did you say?
Suggesting that we should eliminate him from our list.
One of them eliminated him, I had as well.
I agree too, I think. Yes.
Why did you eliminate him, in fact?
He was
less forthcoming, in my opinion.
On personality grounds?
Yes, I think
personality.
Actually, I'm afraid.
It's actually true.
We've now got to find 2 second equals.
Roper Curzon, I think, definitely.
Well, I'm quite happy about
Roper
him.
Curzon.
Roper Curzon and Derritt.
Well, I don't
I don't know about Derritt. I think Roper Curzon is certainly much more all-round than Derritt is.
But I put Derritt above the others.
No.
Just on his violin playing.
It was a pity that he could offer so little else in addition to what
yes.
was really excellent violin playing.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't vary his sound at all on the violin. I don't think he actually showed that he was a musician in his violin playing. He showed he was a technician.
It was a bit of machine. It was a bit machine-like, actually, wasn't it?
I strongly suspect that he's been pushed into that sort of music because they think that'll impress us for a scholarship.
How about Roper Curzon as well?
Yes, Roper Curzon, third fees. Well, do we have anybody who we consider was the absolute star of the day? Was there anybody outstanding?
Well, my suggestion was Johnson.
I don't think he's a star, but he would be my first choice.
Well, I think that on overall grounds, as a person and as a musician, he came over probably in the most positive way.
Yes, he's the most mature personality, isn't he?
Yes.
That's right. Of that lot. And I think that is important. Well, I mean, I wouldn't argue about that. I'd certainly put him top if we had to choose somebody from that list to put top.
Yes.
Now, talk me through these candidates.
Yes.
Who really stood out in your mind?
Of them all, I
them
think Tom Johnson, really,
Yes.
because he was such a pleasant boy to have around for those 24 hours. He'd come very well prepared.
Yes.
He fitted in very well immediately into what went on.
Well, he's had a marvellous training.
And he's had an excellent training as a chorister,
Yes,
and of course
yes.
this is...
I think if you're head chorister at Westminster Abbey, that
Yes.
must mean something.
Certainly. And this would actually stand out in his...
Yes.
Both in his demeanour and in the way in which he put across what he'd come to do.
He interviewed very well indeed. And I'm glad that his music was the equal of his...
We liked him enormously.
Good, yes. His testimonial was excellent.
Yes, I had a very good one from Douglas
done.
Guest as well.
Yes, well, Douglas Guest wrote to me,
Yes.
but his headmaster, Archie Keel,
Yes.
wrote me 10 pages about him.
Really?
In his own hand. And
Splendid.
I must say, every word of it was borne out in the event.
Yes.
Tell me a bit more about his music.
Well, his oboe playing was, I think, suffered a bit from nerves. It's a notorious instrument to get nervous with, of course. It can become very unpredictable. He's going to be such a useful boy in the music, and I think also as an ambassador too.
Archie, is that you?
Dennis.
Look, good news for you.
Really?
Yes, Tom performed excellently.
Oh, Dennis.
In fact, he's got the top award.
Dennis, that's marvellous.
He really did come through very strongly indeed.
Wonderful.
I hope you got the rude messages I sent you.
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
We got that last night.
Yes.
As we got back, the phone was ringing and it was Bilks from Canterbury saying we got an award there.
Oh, wonderful. Have you had a good time?
We got an award at Cranley.
You got an award at Cranley, too?
And at King's.
And at King's.
And at that moment, £750 worth of stereo equipment arrived from an anonymous donor.
You've had rather a good day, then?
It calls for an enormously strong gin, which I can't get till tonight. Gosh, I should be drinking yours. I'm absolutely thrilled.
Archie, I'd just like to say how much we appreciated your testimonial. It came across very well, and you got it just right. And that's how he came across.